Updated total, still $0. Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Best way to support the show is by listening every day on your preferred audio platform and by pressing like and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's Tuesday episode is presented by FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. My plan is to wear Christmas sweaters all week on the show. I only own two, so I'm going to alternate each day. We're going to no, I'm not. Well, not just. I'm just going to wear them for the show. We are going to have our holiday live stream, 7 p.m. Tuesday. So 7 p.m. Today for most listening. And that's going to be live on YouTube. And invites have been sent out to a few people. Some surprises are in store, Sam.
Surprises for me or for the listeners?
For both. And we're going to talk more about that later in the show. We also have some Cubs convention schedule, and we're going to lead off with the current state of the Cubs. As you know, pretty much every day we're going to do some kind of check-in. But what I love right now, for as little as I actually like about it, from a comedic perspective, I do have to laugh, and I do have to say I love it because, quite frankly, I was at Jewel Osco today, and mark my words, when I was walking out of there amongst the cold snow and wind, I considered taking a selfie of me with my Jewel bag, with the caption, "Spent more at Jewel the last 7 minutes than the Cubs this offseason," and that's how it's going to be applied every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're going to expose the Cubs a little bit and go over some of their current roster status. Sam, better, or worse, or the same since Monday's episode?
Well, I'm glad you find it funny.
Well, they still have 2 months to add to the roster. A lot of guys are still out there.
No, I'm beaming with laughter.
Well, the starting pitching market is a little bit confusing, but most of the hitters and relief pitchers are still out there.
It's funny, isn't it?
Well, it's not funny. It's just that they have time.
You keep doing the show from Pluto, man.
Well,
it looks like you're floating in the air with this.
If guys that they seemingly have targeted start to come off the board, then I think there's cause for concern, especially in the bat on the offensive side.
Awesome.
But I think they think highly of their pitchers, and that's maybe why they didn't pay Waka 16 M's. They didn't pay Flaherty 14 M's, but there's still a lot of hitters and relief targets out there. There is.
What pitchers?
I'm sorry?
What pitchers do you think they feel good about?
Assad, Wicks, Brown, Horton.
Right.
Still a trade possibility with Cleveland?
No, I'm not. Look, I'm not at all throwing in, throwing
towel.
And I brought this.
You're not throwing the book again?
Well, just in case things get
like
a little boring.
Three straight episodes, man.
Yeah, well, it's the 1 year anniversary.
Oh yeah.
I
smash the like button.
I'm not throwing in the white towel like I did in mid-May. It's.
I think you could just say towel. You don't have to say the color, man.
It's just. I just don't think, I'm just getting restless. So.
Okay. And I get that.
I've sent some funny texts to you.
Yeah, no, they've been good. And really, this has all started with, I believe, a tweet or an X post from you on Saturday. I believe it was something Secret Santa Related, like something you bought candy canes, more money than the Cubs spent or something.
Yeah, I didn't use candy canes, but I know what you mean.
So, yeah, do you like candy canes?
Yeah, I like anything.
You like candy.
I like anything candy related. Yeah.
Right. So here's what I want to do, Sam. Here's your first surprise of the week.
Okay.
Here is the current Cubs opening day roster. Steele, Hendricks, Tyone, Wicks, and Assad, starting pitchers. Relief pitchers, Alzolay, Merriweather, Leiter, Smiley, Wisniewski, Little, Palencia, and Quas. Catchers, Gomes and Amaya. Infield, Swanson, Horner, Madrigal, Mervis, and Mastroboni. And yes, I realize that I'm pronouncing it like Michael K. Outfield, Happ, Talkman, Suzuki, and Canario. Utility /DH, Morel, and Wisdom. That's the roster right now. And that's a 79 win club, according to Fangraphs. And I get it. I perhaps that discounts the last the last 3-4 minutes that I just spoke. But I do think that simultaneously, the Cubs should be feeling some appropriate pressure despite the slowness of the market. And quite frankly, this isn't a good club. And I'm going to show you the starting 9 in a minute. But that's where we're at, Sam. And there's some bright spots on here. But there's a lot to be desired.
That team stinks. Look, here's where I lie. And that's I'm concerned that Jed and Carter, I'm not going to refer to him as a first name basis. I'm concerned that Jed and Carter Hawkins are
Hoyer and Hawkins.
No, I don't. Everyone knows what I'm talking about with Jed.
Oh.
Carter's not popular enough to use him for, what is he, Madonna, LeBron?
You saw him did you really see him at Chipotle earlier?
No, it was a joke, dude. It's a joke. I'm just concerned that they really are just going to kind of have a year where they just throw things and see what they stick, young players wise. And I still think the long-term future of the Cubs is very bright despite what happens in 2024. But I'm reading these things. Oh, well, Council's really good at developing young talent, so they're going to do that. I just, as a fan, which is short for fanatic, and a podcast host, I really want the Cubs to be good in 2024. And that roster that you just put up is not good. Now, I do have some positive news. I do. I actually do. Some betting odds came out today, not on the main sites, but on some other sites.
Offshore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you saw that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, and the Cubs were favored to win the NL Central, right?
No way.
At plus 185.
With the
Cardinals.
current roster?
Well, no, Mateo. No.
Sorry.
That it's projecting what they do.
Okay.
So that's good. That is saying that most books think the Cubs are going to do stuff. As of right now, the Cubs they're closer to last. They are to first. But if they make some additions, they still it just shows you how easy it is to at least be favored to win this division if you could just do the bare minimum. And so that's a positive. And again, long term, I love where the Cubs are at. I want the Cubs to be good in 2024 for a lot of reasons. And as that, flash that roster up one more time, that's that club right there. I mean, I go through it. I'll give you quick grades.
Please.
Starting pitching, Steele, Hendricks, Tyone, Wicks, Assad. It's a C- at best. Relief pitching, not close to being competitive. Catching, solid. Yeah. Infield, the last 3 names are really poor, man. Outfield, fine. Utility, fine. That sounds like a 75-win team to me.
Yeah, it does.
So, I said I was going to grade, and I didn't say day 1 grade. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, you gave a couple.
Yeah. Awful.
And here's, again, I know people want to grapple with some of the lineup, but I'm just trying to show you what could be on March 28th as of right now. If you want to throw Wisdom in for Mervis, go ahead. I was trying to put more lefties in there, quite honestly. If you want to put Mastro in there for Madrigal, be my guest. If you want to grapple over Talkman, go ahead. But it's this lineup right here that makes even the 1-year deals attractive. Because at this point, and again, no disrespect, none. Matt Mervis, he's been on the show. Mike Talkman, I'd like to have him at the Arcada, Des Plaines Theater, honestly. I know he's in the area. Mm-hmm. And Nick Madrigal. No disrespect to those three, but you have holes, massive ones, at first, third, and center. So when people are arguing on the internet Monday about Rhys Hoskins, oh, you're going to freak out if another team gets Rhys Hoskins? Well, who plays first base? That's my question. Well, freak out over Rhys Hoskins. Well, who in your mind then plays first? Because it can't be Mervis and Wisdom, dude. And if Jed Hoyer is balking at Rhys Hoskins 2 for 34, that's a shame. That's a shame.
When I look at that.
Cubs don't need Jorge Polanco. They don't need to trade their prospects to the Twins. Who plays third base then?
Madrigal in his power.
Oh, they don't. They got PCA and Mike Talkman. What?
Can I say something for the love of everything? Yeah. When I see that lineup, you know what I think about?
Leaving the show?
A warm, flat diet soda. It is so
it's not even cold. There's not even ice in it.
No. It's a watered down diet beverage that just isn't even close to what you desire.
Right.
And look, I don't think the Cubs are going to go. I'll say this again. I think there's a path for the Cubs to still have a good offseason, to win in the high 80s, low 90s.
Well, of course there is. It's December 18th, and there's a lot of people out there still.
I'm just very nervous.
I think that's the best word choice right now.
Nervous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
worry is not the word choice for me right now, but I think nervous is appropriate.
And I am not Tom Hanks. I am not Dustin Hoffman. I can't come on here and act like I'm not. So if I'm nervous, I'm going to be nervous.
Right.
I've never won an Academy Award. I don't look like Leonardo DiCaprio. So I can't come on here and lie to you and pretend.
I hope you wouldn't.
I'm not a pretender.
And I know that. I appreciate and love you for that. Coming up next.
Now we got to talk about Ricketts.
The Cubs convention schedule was released. Let's take a look at that and some notable absences. Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. As the weather gets colder, it was a high of 30 here in the Chicagoland area on Monday. The NFL offers stay hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. It's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn. FanDuel, official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network. Cubs convention is January 12th, 13th, and 14th, and the lineup and schedule was announced on Monday. And notable absences, there's going to be no business operations panel. That usually includes Crane Kenny. That usually includes people from Marquee. That's out. Also includes no Ricketts family panel with owner Tom Ricketts. Notables that are in attendance: Friday's the opening ceremony and class of 2024 Hall of Fame. Saturday, there will be a baseball operations panel with Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins, a hitter session, a pitcher session, and Craig Counsell will take the stage as well. Sam, any feelings one way or the other about Ricketts bailing here?
Yeah, I think if the Cubs had made some appropriate acquisitions and they were missing, nobody would care. But I think when you line up the fact they haven't done one thing and he's not going to be there, it's a little bit weird. But I don't think that Cubs haven't done anything because of Tom Ricketts. I think it's a Jed thing, and Jed will be there answering questions. So it's not the end of the world. But I'll tell you this, and I'll say this publicly. I will not go until they do something. Well,
Right.
I won't.
Right. You said last year you wouldn't go to a game unless such and such happens.
And it happened.
Yeah, I'm up and down with that kind of feeling, but
Yeah, well, then you could be up and down. I
understand.
I don't give my business when I don't see that they're giving effort.
Okay. I thank you for putting it concisely.
That team in May, the way they were playing, I was not going to go support them because I knew they were better than that. And then they started playing like that. I've been to games when the Cubs are awful, but I knew they were going to be awful. That team should not have been 11 games under 500, and they showed me that they didn't. And then I went to about 4 of the last 2 weeks of the campaign. This team should put a good product out there this year. If they don't, count me out of Cubs convention. You could go and represent the two of us.
No, I'm not going to go by myself, Sam.
You take your dad.
We go as a team, or we don't,
or take Politis.
We'll be in California, dude.
Take Kira.
Well, I just think that. First of all, I'm debating on whether or not to reach out to the Cubs. I'd like to maybe have an official presence at Cubs convention, but also part of me would like to not.
Well, no,
I'd like to just walk around with the people. I'd like for us to be,
Well, if they give us an official credential, they're going to tough questions will be asked. I'd like to sample one right now.
Please.
Jed, this is Sam Olber from Locked On Cubs. I would just like to ask you, obviously you've done a really good job building up this farm system, but is there a point where you overweight the market? And do you feel a responsibility as the president of baseball operations for one of the largest market teams in the United States to put out a competitive, good product every year? Thank you.
Wow. No, that's good. That's good.
I
would like to be at the convention for the show, but
I don't pull any punches, dude.
I know that. Speaking of the convention, actually a couple days before that, we're going to be having our own event, Cubs and Grub. First night is Wednesday, January 10th, 7 to 9 p.m. at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles. Second night is Wednesday, February 7th, 7 to 9, Des Plaines Theater. Please get your tickets at the link in this episode description. I'm getting a tickets update on Tuesday. I'm very excited to get that update. And we hope you join us.
Please join us. And a couple of quick things as we are recording. Martin Perez to the Pirates. Mm-hmm. The Cubs signed some guy to a minor league deal. The Orioles traded for a reliever, Jonathan Heasley. A lot of action here in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. Everything happens at night in baseball.
Yeah. Perez, 1 year, $8 million.
Okay, yeah, and he was awful as a starter last year, but he was good as a reliever, though. And the $8 million price as a reliever swingman isn't bad.
No, well, Drew Smiley's getting 9.
The Pirates have added what? Tellez and Perez now?
Yeah, it's not really strong.
So
I will admit.
And McCutcheon they're bringing back.
I will admit I'm in such a dark Cubs place right now with no moves. I'm starting to really confuse activity with production. Like some of these teams that make deals, I think every guy I see off the board I want for an irrational reason.
Yeah.
But Martin Perez isn't one of those.
No, I would think not. So.
All right. Well, I'll talk.
All right. Let's talk about the holiday stream.
Oh, that's right.
Coming up next. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today covers the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Search Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. Last year was such a great event, and we're going to do it again. 7 p.m. Tuesday, that's today, December 19th, we are going to have our Locked On Cubs holiday party. It's going to be live exclusively on YouTube, and then we'll be published for the audio peeps, like it always is, the following mornings. That'd be Wednesday morning. And we're very excited to have everydayers in here. We're excited to take live chats. I have a couple things up my sleeve. Have a couple guests that maybe Sam doesn't even know about or even listen to the show, that are going to be making an appearance. And we'll try to have our Christmas sweaters on, of course. And the other thing is here, for those of you that would like to, and I'll go over the directions here on the audio side, and there's a scroll at the bottom on the video side. If not on live, you could still be with us. We'll play a clip of a video that you send in. You could send a video of 60 seconds or less to celebrate the show in 2023. You submit that to locsoundoff@gmail.com. And really what I want the holiday stream to be, Sam, I would like to take a pause from the current goings on of the Cubs, and would like to look back on the calendar year, maybe favorite moments, maybe least favorite, whether it's the season or otherwise, and really just celebrate the listeners.
What time?
Celebrate
Tuesday
the
night?
listeners.
What
It's gonna
time?
be 7 Central.
I'm tweeting it out right now, or Xing
7
out.
Central. So
yeah,
very, very excited about this again. I think it's going to be a good time.
Anytime we get a chance to interact with our listeners, it's always great for me. So hopefully,
I think you're really going to dig this.
Yeah, well,
I
you
think
better
this is really
deliver on this stuff, dude. You can't just say I got stuff up my sleeve. We have.
When have I never not delivered?
No, I know, but like people get. I had somebody.
When have I never not delivered?
I had somebody comment on my show from today, and they go, "Hey, man, what's with the surprise that you guys were going to announce?" And I had to send him a link of our live show thing because he didn't listen to it. But
we've been announcing that every day.
No, I know, dude. No, you deliver. I just I get a little nervous because people expect a lot, man.
I get it, but this is.
Go ahead.
With gas. We're cooking with gas.
Finish what you want to say. I'd like to say something.
We're very thankful to be in a good spot with the show.
I'm low on food, and it's too cold for me to go pick something up.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs.
We're done. I had some more breaking news. The Cubs just signed.
Who signed? Randall Simon.
The Cubs just signed somebody that's gonna make his debut in high A ball.
You give us 20 to 30 minutes. Wait, who are the signings? It's this Thomas
guy. They gave him $90.
Alfaro and Edwin Escobar, right?
They paid the guy. They paid the guy in gift cards. He's got a Visa gift card. You can go to Chipotle anytime he wants in South Beach or wherever.
Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube and smash the like button for the algorithm and to support us, of course. Shout out to the audio peeps, Apple, Spotify, and a whole lot more. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Locked On Cubs, man.